There are moments in basketball rumor history that feel less like whispers and more like earthquakes, and this one is shaking the entire Bay Area to its core. Reports are swirling that Austin Reaves, yes, the Lakers' rising star, the undrafted kid turned clutch machine, has allegedly been signed by the Golden State Warriors. The news hasn't even been confirmed, yet the internet is already in meltdown. Warriors fans are losing their minds, and the idea of Reaves in blue and gold feels almost too cinematic to be true. At first glance, it sounds impossible. The Lakers and Warriors have been fierce rivals of the West for nearly a decade, sharing playoff wars, historic duels, and emotional narratives written in sweat. But if there's one thing about the Warriors organization, it's that they don't fear chaos, they thrive in it. And Austin Reaves, with that fearless grin and underdog mentality, seems like the perfect fit for a dynasty that has built itself on defying expectations. Imagine the Chase Center crowd roaring as Reaves knocks down a corner three off a Steph Curry dish, shrugging with that trademark calm while Draymond flexes at midcourt. The scene practically writes itself. For years, Golden State's identity has been about movement, chemistry, and basketball IQ, and Reaves has all three in spades. He's not the flashiest name, but he's the kind of glue guy every championship team secretly needs. Rumor has it that the Warriors front office, led by Mike Dunleavy Jr., has been quietly scouting Reaves for months, admiring not just his scoring touch but his discipline and confidence in big moments. Sources claim that during the off-season discussions, the Warriors explored multiple ways to add a two-way guard who could handle the ball when Curry rests, and Reaves checked every box. The speculation intensified when an anonymous insider hinted that a significant Western Conference guard was in advanced talks with Golden State. Fans went into detective mode, cross-referencing social media follows, tracking flight patterns, and decoding cryptic emoji posts from Reaves' camp. Within hours, hashtags like #ReavesToTheBay and #WarriorAustin were trending worldwide. What makes this rumor so explosive is its emotional weight. For Lakers fans, Reaves was the heart and soul story, the undrafted Arkansas kid who became a folk hero. For Warriors fans, he represents something deeper, renewal. After seasons of battling injuries, chemistry questions, and the slow evolution of the dynasty, the arrival of someone young, hungry, and clutch feels like the spark this roster needs to light another championship run. Every dynasty, no matter how dominant, eventually needs fresh blood to keep the fire alive. The 2015 to 2019 Warriors had their death lineup. The 2022 team had its redemption arc. Could 2026 be the year of Reaves and Curry? The very thought is intoxicating. Reaves isn't just a scorer. He's a connector, a player who sees the floor, makes the extra pass, and knows when to step up. His basketball IQ mirrors the unselfish DNA that Steve Kerr demands from every Warrior who wears the jersey. The system isn't about superstars taking turns. It's about rhythm, trust, and invisible synergy, and Reaves fits that mold perfectly. But make no mistake, the rumor also carries tension. Lakers Nation is furious. The idea of losing one of their own to their biggest modern rival feels like betrayal. Social media has turned into a digital battlefield. Warriors fans celebrating, Lakers fans calling it fake news, and neutral observers just watching the chaos unfold like a summer blockbuster. The Bay Area, meanwhile, is buzzing with anticipation. Local sports radio hosts can't stop debating what Reaves' role would look like. Some say he'd start alongside Curry, pushing Klay Thompson to small forward. Others believe he'd anchor the second unit, becoming the offensive engine when Steph sits. Either way, the impact would be seismic. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense strategically. Reaves has the calm, playmaking versatility, and fearless shot-making the Warriors have lacked when the offense stagnates. He's younger than most of the core, but old enough to understand pressure, a rare balance that could bridge the generational gap between Curry's veterans and the young guns like Podziemski and Kuminga. Some insiders suggest that Curry himself is a fan. According to those close to the locker room, Steph has always admired players who move without the ball and read the game naturally, the exact qualities Reaves embodies. The idea of a Curry-Reaves backcourt sounds unconventional but potentially revolutionary, a blend of finesse and grit that could torment opposing defenses. Steve Kerr, too, is rumored to have weighed in privately, praising Reaves' adaptability and attitude. For a coach obsessed with culture, Reaves' humility and drive might be irresistible. After years of managing big egos and balancing minutes, Kerr could see Reaves as the kind of steady presence that keeps harmony alive inside a locker room full of champions. Financially, The rumor raises eyebrows. The Warriors' salary cap situation is already tight, with massive deals tied up in Curry, Thompson, Green, and Wiggins. Bringing in Reaves would require creativity, perhaps a sign-and-trade scenario involving young assets or future picks. But if there's one thing the front office has proven, it's a willingness to spend when a championship window is still open. Fans haven't forgotten how Joe Lacob once declared, "We're light years ahead." Moves like this, bold, risky, but visionary, are exactly why. Reaves isn't a luxury piece. He's a strategic investment. He's the kind of player who can win playoff minutes when the game slows down and every possession becomes gold. The rivalry subplot makes this rumor irresistible. Warriors-Lakers has evolved into the NBA's new age drama: LeBron versus Curry, Showtime versus Splash Time, Hollywood versus Silicon Valley. To imagine one of LeBron's most trusted sidekicks switching allegiances to the enemy adds layers of theater no scriptwriter could dream of. Reaves himself has remained silent, and that silence only fuels speculation. His last social media post featured nothing but a sunset emoji. To most people, meaningless. To NBA Twitter, a coded goodbye to Los Angeles and a nod to the Bay's golden horizon. Every off-season rumor feels exaggerated, but this one feels possible. That's what makes it so thrilling. The Warriors need energy, Reaves needs a new challenge. The timeline syncs almost too perfectly. It's the kind of narrative that destiny seems to write when the basketball gods get bored. And let's not ignore the emotional side of this story. Warriors fans, long accustomed to watching their team as the hunted, are hungry for the feeling of being the hunters again, poaching talent, redefining eras, and shocking the league. Reaves arriving would symbolize that hunger made flesh. Analysts are already breaking down hypothetical lineups, and they look terrifying. Picture Curry, Reaves, Clay, Draymond, and Wiggins, a lineup dripping with intelligence and shooting. Or imagine Reaves leading a bench unit with Podziemski, Moody, and Saric, fluid ball movement, relentless spacing, and unselfish basketball. It's the kind of depth championship teams dream about. And what about chemistry? That's where things get even spicier. Reaves has always been praised for his adaptability, his ability to mesh with stars without losing his edge. Playing alongside Curry could unlock an even higher level of efficiency. Open shots galore, defensive misdirection, and fast-paced transition basketball straight out of the Warriors' playbook. Of course, Lakers loyalists argue the rumor is absurd. They claim Reaves is untouchable, that he's a core piece of their future. But Warriors fans know that every dynasty feeds on audacity. The franchise didn't draft Curry, Thompson, and Green to play it safe. They built an empire on faith, and faith in talent like Reaves is exactly what could write the next golden chapter. Even former players are chiming in. Some retired Warriors legends have hinted that they'd love to see a hard-working kid like Reaves in the Bay. Others warn it could reignite the rivalry into all-out warfare. Either way, everyone's talking, and that's what keeps the Warriors at the center of the basketball universe. The psychology of this rumor is fascinating. Reaves embodies the everyman story, the grind, the self-belief, the quiet confidence. Warriors culture thrives on those archetypes. Remember how Andre Iguodala sacrificed his starting role? How Sean Livingston rebuilt his career? Reaves could be the next chapter in that legacy of redemption and reinvention. And let's not overlook the marketing side. The Bay loves its heroes, humble, tough, skilled, and relatable. Reaves, with his small-town charm and underdog rise, could become a fan favorite overnight. Jerseys would sell out. Chase Center would erupt every time he hits a clutch jumper. The connection would be instant. If the rumor turns real, it would also send a shockwave through the league's power balance. The Lakers, already facing questions about LeBron's future and roster depth, would lose one of their most consistent young stars. The Warriors, meanwhile, would inject fresh life into a core that refuses to fade quietly. For now, though, everything remains speculation, and that's what makes it electric. The suspense, the possibilities, the endless what-ifs. Reaves in a Warriors jersey is the kind of dream that fuels off-season madness, that keeps fans refreshing their feeds at 2 a.m., hoping for that WOJ bomb or Shams tweet to make it official. Until that happens, all we can do is imagine. Imagine Reaves cutting through defenders on a backdoor pass from Draymond. Imagine Curry sprinting off screens while Reaves orchestrates from the top of the key. Imagine Clay laughing as another perfectly timed rotation leads to yet another open three. It feels inevitable, like basketball poetry waiting to be written. Maybe this is the beginning of something bigger, a philosophical shift for Golden State. Moving from relying solely on past legends to integrating new blood that shares the same competitive soul. Reaves could be the bridge between eras, the connective tissue between glory and renewal. Every great story needs a symbol. For the Warriors, Reaves might represent hope, the proof that reinvention doesn't mean starting over, it means evolving. The dynasty isn't dying, it's adapting. And what better way to prove that than by stealing the heart of Hollywood and planting it in the Bay? Fans are already dreaming of opening night, the lights dim, the crowd chanting, and Reaves stepping onto the hardwood wearing the city across his chest. The cameras flash, the commentators go wild, and the roar of Chase Center drowns out every doubt ever whispered about the end of the dynasty. Because that's the thing about Golden State, they don't just play basketball, they tell stories. And if this rumor ever becomes reality, it'll be one of the most compelling stories the NBA has seen in years, a tale of rivalry, redemption, and the relentless pursuit of greatness that defines what it means to be a Warrior. Before we dive into the next update, help us keep the Warriors' spirit alive by subscribing to the channel and smashing that like button. Stay connected with all the latest Golden State Warriors news. Now, let's get into it.